I love that there's a lot more female leads nowadays. I think that's so special, but we should have our own. I don't like it when it's like a spin-off. Like, I don't want to see like Jamie Bond, I want to see just like another badass.
Jenna Ortega has clashed with one of the biggest production houses in the world, Disney. And in doing so, she has also exposed Disney's favorite actress of the moment, Rachel Zeglar. Where many can only dream of working with Disney, Jenna Ortega has decided to take a stand against them, and she is not holding back when it comes to calling out Rachel Zeglar. So why has Jenna turned her back on Disney? What's this new beef between Jenna and Rachel? Let's find out. Disney's controversial agenda. It all started with Disney's new controversial agenda. You see, Disney used to be the gold standard in family entertainment. It was the place where childhood dreams came to life, where unforgettable stories like The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin were created. For decades, Disney was known for its incredible animation, timeless characters, and heartwarming tales that inspired generations. The magic of Disney was that it not only gave us entertainment, it created memories for us, shaped our childhoods, and reminded us all about the power of imagination and storytelling. But over the last few years, things have shifted. Slowly but surely, Disney has started moving away from the core values that once made it a beloved household name. The company has embraced what many now call woke culture. It is a term that has become synonymous with forcing social and political agendas into films. In the name of breaking stereotypes and modernizing old classics, Disney has started altering the stories that once defined it. This shift has raised eyebrows, no doubt, but it has also left many longtime fans disappointed and disillusioned. Let's take a look at how this has played out. A while ago, Disney announced a live-action Mulan remake. Instead of keeping the beloved aspects of the original story, like the fun sidekick Mushu or the iconic songs, they stripped the film of everything that made it magical. What was left was a hollow shell, trying too hard to send a message rather than tell a story. And it didn't stop there. The live-action remake of The Little Mermaid sparked controversy with its race-swapping of iconic characters. While Disney claimed it was about inclusivity, fans argued that these changes were forced, which distracted them from the original magic of the story. The thing is, we do not have any problem with representation or diversity, which are great goals if done right. The problem comes when these goals overtake the essence of good storytelling. Disney, in recent years, has started producing films and remakes that feel more like lectures than entertainment. They are pushing an agenda, plain and simple, and it is starting to show in their box office numbers. As a result, we saw flop films like Lightyear, where instead of focusing on the adventure that made the character iconic in Toy Story, the focus shifted to making a political statement. So it begs the question, why is Disney doing this? What's the agenda behind these constant changes? Some say Disney's shift is all about maintaining relevance in a changing world. They want to cater to the growing demand for inclusivity, diversity, and representation. But many fans argue that in their quest to be woke, Disney is destroying what made it so beloved in the first place, the magic. The movies we once loved are being dismantled and reconstructed to fit modern political ideals. But at what cost? By focusing so heavily on pushing these agendas, Disney is losing sight of what they do best, which is telling timeless stories that resonate with audiences of all ages. This new direction is hurting Disney more than it is helping. Sure, the company might be scoring points with some critics, but longtime fans feel alienated. The beauty of Disney's old films was their ability to take you on an emotional journey, to make you care about the characters and their stories. Now, the stories feel like afterthoughts, sacrificed in favor of ticking all the boxes in the woke culture checklist. This is not to say diversity and inclusivity should not have a place in Disney movies, they absolutely should. But when those things come at the cost of good storytelling, character development, and emotional depth, then it becomes a problem. And that's exactly what's happening with Disney's recent string of movies. It feels less like Disney is trying to create magic and more like they are trying to win a political debate. And frankly, it is taking away from the joy and excitement that their films used to bring. While some actors agree with Disney and love to play along with their agenda, some have openly criticized it, like Jenna Ortega. So what has Jenna said about Disney's controversial agenda? Jenna's exit. It turns out Jenna Ortega has decided to not work with Disney anymore and has even declined their offers more than once. You see, Jenna has never been one to back down, and her exit from Disney is proof that she is willing to stand by her principles, no matter how much it might shake up Hollywood. Unlike many actors who dream of working with the world's biggest entertainment company, Jenna had no problem walking away. Why? Because she sees through the glossy exterior and has no interest in playing into Disney's recent obsession with politics over storytelling. Let's be honest, Disney's name alone opens doors. It is the kind of studio that can turn actors into global icons overnight. Most people in the industry would give anything to be in Jenna's shoes, with Disney practically throwing opportunities at her. But instead of jumping at the chance to sign on for a guaranteed blockbuster, she took one look at what Disney was doing and said, "No thanks." Now let's talk about Jenna's opinions, because she is not shy about them. She has been vocal about how she values real, authentic storytelling over political messaging. And if you have been paying attention, it is clear that Disney has been pushing a very different agenda lately. Jenna is not interested in jumping on that bandwagon. For her, the magic of movies comes from characters and their journeys, not from squeezing in every possible social issue just to look progressive. She says that she cares about originality, creativity, and most importantly, keeping the audience engaged with a good story, not turning films into lectures. Her stance became crystal clear when she turned down Disney's offer to join their Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean, a series that has grossed billions, created one of the most iconic characters in Captain Jack Sparrow, and attracted massive audiences worldwide. For most actors, it would be the opportunity of a lifetime. But not for Jenna. No. She looked at what Disney was doing with the franchise and said she was out. Why? Because the direction they wanted to take didn't align with her values. Rather than sticking to the adventure and charm that made the original movie so beloved, Disney wanted to turn the franchise into yet another political statement. And Jenna was not having any of it. This was not a one-off decision either. Disney kept coming back with more offers, trying to get Jenna on board with other projects. Each time she declined. That's how strong her stance is. She didn't want to be part of a company that is more focused on pushing its DEI agenda or diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda than on making great films. And let's be real here. Disney's recent string of flops is proof that their formula is not working. When you start caring more about making headlines for being woke than about creating content that resonates with audiences, it is no surprise that box office numbers start to drop. One of the biggest examples of Jenna's refusal to play along with Disney's agenda came with the project codenamed Blue Wave. Now, this was supposed to be a huge animated crossover film, something on the scale of Shrek 5 that would bring together all the classic fairy tale characters we know and love. It sounded exciting, but we only met with disappointment. Instead of focusing on fun, imaginative storytelling, the film was set to heavily promote non-binary characters, gender swapping, and other progressive elements. Jenna took one look at that script and walked away. For her, the reason was the fact that Disney was sacrificing good storytelling to push an agenda. And she is not wrong. Audiences go to Disney movies for the magic, the adventure, and the emotional connection, not to be lectured about social issues. Disney seemed to forget that, and Jenna was not going to be part of it. She made a clear choice that her career is not going to be defined by projects that prioritize ideology over entertainment. And that decision did not sit well with Rachel Zeglar. So how did Rachel Zeglar respond to Jenna Ortega's stance? Jenna versus Rachel. Well, Rachel Zeglar is the actress who seems to be Disney's new favorite until everything went south. She was all in on Blue Wave and fully supported Disney's approach to promoting inclusivity, even if it meant the story took a back seat. In her mind, pushing representation was more important than making sure the movie itself was good. Naturally, when Jenna stepped away from the project, tensions flared. Behind the scenes, we witnessed a lot of drama. Jenna and Rachel were supposed to co-star in Blue Wave, but when Jenna left the project, Rachel was not happy about it. The two had major creative differences. Rachel saw Disney's progressive agenda as a positive force in Hollywood, while Jenna thought it was detracting from what really matters, which is telling a good story. These disagreements led to heated arguments, and eventually the tension between them spilled out into the public eye. As a result, Rachel Zeglar was let go from multiple Disney projects, including Blue Wave. Now, the thing is, Jenna's decision to walk away was not just about this one project. it was about making a statement. She was saying loud and clear that she is not willing to compromise her values for the sake of staying in Disney's good graces. And honestly, good for her. It is not easy to take a stand like that in an industry where most people are scrambling for any opportunity to work with a giant like Disney. But Jenna is not most people. She has proven time and again that she is going to do things on her terms, even if it means stepping away from big roles. What's even more interesting is how this all lines up with what Jenna's been saying publicly. During the press tour for her upcoming Beetlejuice sequel, she made it clear that she believes in creating original roles for women, not just gender-swapping iconic male characters.
I love that there's a lot more female leads nowadays. I think that's so special, but we should have our own. I don't like it when it's like a spin-off. Like, I don't want to see like Jamie Bond, I want to see just like another badass.
She even joked about how she does not want to see James Bond turned into Jamie Bond. This is where her real problem with Disney's direction lies. Instead of focusing on creating fresh, new stories and characters, they are rehashing old ones with superficial changes to fit a political narrative. And Jenna is not here for it. She is also not afraid to point out how this is hurting the film industry as a whole. In her eyes, constantly gender-swapping or race-swapping established characters is lazy. It is not pushing boundaries or being creative, it is just recycling the same old material with a different face. And audiences are starting to catch on. Look at the response to Disney's The Little Mermaid remake or Mulan. These movies were supposed to be groundbreaking, but instead they fell flat because the focus was more on the message than the magic. This is not just a Disney problem either. Woke culture has seeped into so many aspects of the entertainment industry, and Jenna's exit from Disney is just the latest example of someone pushing back. Like the fans, Jenna is not saying that diversity or representation is wrong, it is far from it. She is just pointing out that when you prioritize ticking boxes over telling a good story, everybody loses. Audiences don't get the quality they expect, actors get caught up in the political drama, and the magic that once made movies so special fades away. Jenna Ortega's exit from Disney sends a strong message that not everyone in Hollywood is willing to play by the new rules. She is not interested in being a pawn in Disney's game of social messaging, and she is certainly not afraid to stand up to the industry giant. While other actors might have been intimidated or afraid to lose out on big opportunities, Jenna has proven that she is willing to walk away if it means staying true to her vision. And honestly, it is refreshing to see someone in Hollywood who is not afraid to go against the grain. The fallout. The fallout from Jenna Ortega's decision to step away from Disney is going to have an impact, but honestly, it is likely going to do just fine. While turning down projects from the biggest entertainment company in the world might seem risky for most, Jenna is already an established name in Hollywood. She has proven herself to be a versatile and talented actress who is not afraid to take on roles that challenge her and give her the creative freedom she craves. Unlike many actors who need Disney to launch their careers, Jenna has already made a name for herself. Sure, she might not be getting any new offers from Disney anytime soon, but does she need them? Probably not. Jenna's upcoming projects speak for themselves. First, there's Beetlejuice 2, which is already getting a ton of attention. A sequel to a beloved cult classic, this film is sure to capture a lot of attention, and Jenna's role in it could easily help solidify her place as one of the most sought-after young actresses in Hollywood. Then there is Death of a Unicorn, a black comedy that promises to perfectly present her range even further. And let's not forget Miller's Girl, where she stars alongside Martin Freeman. These projects are a clear sign that Jenna's career is on the rise, with or without Disney. But what about Rachel Zeglar? Well, things are not looking quite as rosy for her. Rachel, unlike Jenna, seems to be trying to butter up Disney. It is no secret that she has been fully on board with Disney's progressive agenda, and she has been more than willing to support the company's direction, even when it has led to backlash from fans. But with her own recent controversies and missteps, it is starting to look like buttering up Disney might not be enough to save her from the fallout. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Rachel Zeglar's role as Snow White and the drama that came with it. It all started when Disney decided to give the classic story a modern spin, and that's where things started to go downhill. Casting Zeglar, a Latina actress, as Snow White raised a lot of eyebrows. Now, don't get me wrong, diversity in casting can be great when it is done thoughtfully, but in this case, it felt like Disney was more focused on making a statement than respecting the original material. Snow White, after all, is a character rooted in European folklore, and her name literally refers to her skin being as white as snow. Many fans were quick to point out that casting Zeglar felt like a deliberate attempt to push a narrative rather than a natural choice for the role. It is as if Disney was more concerned with working on the agenda of diversity than staying true to the essence of the character. And this decision didn't exactly sit well with audiences who grew up with the 1937 animated classic. Disney's tendency to force modern ideals into beloved stories was already annoying fans, and this casting decision only made things worse. As if the changes to the story were not enough to stir controversy, Rachel Zeglar herself added more fuel to the fire with her off-putting remarks. Instead of simply promoting the movie, Rachel made headlines for all the wrong reasons. She openly criticized the original 1937 version of Snow White, calling it outdated and problematic. One of her most controversial comments was when she suggested that the relationship between Snow White and Prince Charming was stalkerish. That's right, Rachel Zeglar, the new Snow White, essentially threw shade at the very story she was supposed to be representing. Unsurprisingly, fans were outraged. For many, the 1937 version of Snow White is a classic, a piece of cinematic history that holds a special place in their hearts. Rachel's harsh critique felt like a slap in the face to those who grew up loving the story. It was not just the fact that she criticized the film, but the way she did it, without any respect for the role she was stepping into. It came across as tone-deaf and dismissive, as if she had no appreciation for the legacy of the character she was portraying. But Rachel didn't stop there. She doubled down on her stance during multiple interviews, proudly stating that the new version of Snow White would be all about self-discovery and leadership. While strong female characters are great, this was not what fans wanted from Snow White. They wanted the fairy tale magic, not a leadership lesson. Rachel's comments only made the backlash worse, and it became clear that her vision for the role didn't align with what audiences were hoping for. As of now, it looks like Jenna Ortega is on the right track, even after turning her back on Disney. On the other hand, Rachel Zeglar's situation looks a bit shaky. Her attempts to stick with Disney, combined with the backlash from her Snow White controversy, don't seem to be winning her any favors. So which side do you support this time? Are you Team Jenna or Team Rachel? Let us know in the comments. If you want more shocking updates, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we have got a lot more of this. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.